Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy Amethyst here, and I wrote this script at about 2 in the morning the other day, but I never really got around to actually making a awake version of me going through this. I went through this at like that same night at like 2:30 and talked over the entire thing, but it is kind of really bad. So I think that this is the best way to go about this, is just to re-record this really quick. So take two, let's go. So on Twitter, I posted that I was really considering making a series, kind of talking about my inspiration in the fighting game community and how I kind of got to the point where I'm at, where I'm playing, I would say competitively, not necessarily professionally, of course, because I'm not that good, but definitely getting up to that competitive level of play in the games that I've played over the last like 4 or 5 years in the FGC. I got a lot of support on making it an actual series, so I decided, hey, why not actually record something for once? So the way I'm going to structure this series is that the videos will be showcasing kind of the levels that I was at and the games that I was playing. Now, to be fair, I don't have a lot of my clips of me playing like Mortal Kombat and Dragon Ball and Unist and all those kinds of games. I don't have my clips of me playing those like at a lower level because I never played those on my own at a lower level. As soon as I got the games, I started practicing to be competitive. But things like Brawlhalla, Tekken, stuff like that, you'll definitely see a lot of that in the background of this video going on, so just figured I'd let you guys know that ahead of time. But basically the series is going to be covering like the multiple levels of play that I've been in so far, different types of games that I've played, the different genres of fighting games in general. I'm going to be covering all of these in later videos, but for now we're going to be starting about where I started and how I got my inspiration to kind of start taking fighting games competitively. So we're gonna rewind all the way back to 2002. Yeah, 3 years old, playing Tekken 3 on the PlayStation 1. I remember playing a lot of Paul and a lot of Law. Those are the two characters I distinctly remember playing, but I know I played like every single character in that game at one point or another. My cousin gave me his PlayStation 1 for Christmas the previous year when I was like 2 years old, so I was really young when I started playing games, and I put a lot of time into Tekken. I thought it was like just this wonderful thing. I started learning what I would call combos back then, but they weren't combos. I would just cheese everybody I'd play with, and that mostly just meant like destroying my family in Tekken, and just in general is absolutely destroying them. But I was really competitive with them when it came to that game. I always wanted to be the best at it because my dad was really good at like Madden, like football games and shit like that. And my cousins were good at racing games, which I then became really good at racing games too. But that's besides the point. I really liked fighting games when I was young. They really made me, have a lot of fun. And I think that's what kind of led me to continue to love fighting games later on down the road. So we're going to fast forward to about 2009. Mortal Kombat Armageddon. I got that game as a gift for Easter one year. I don't know why my dad gave me a Mortal Kombat game when I was 10 years old, but we're just going to rock with it. I love Mortal Kombat. I think it's one of my favorite game series of all time, and this game is what really solidified that for me. This one, and of course Shaolin Monks, but that's not a fighting game, that's a beat 'em up. But anyway, I think this was my first time that I ever played another fighting game besides Tekken that like wasn't in an arcade. I'd played like the Street Fighter arcade cabinets and stuff like that when I lived up in Illinois, because there was an arcade in the mall there, and I loved playing fighting games there, especially against just the randoms that would be coming up to play. That was always something that really kind of made me have fun, even though I'd lose a lot because I didn't know how to play Street Fighter. But that was always kind of a highlight, was playing this new fighting game that I'd never played before, and Mortal Kombat Armageddon really introduced me into that and kind of taught me how to find a character that I really liked. I had always thought that, especially with Tekken, I thought I was just playing the best characters in the game, and that's why I was like doing good. But it turns out that, you know, I could play whoever I want as long as I liked them, and that's fine. Because like, and even nowadays you'll see that, especially in a lot of pro play, like everybody thought that, well, it was Kung Lao in Mortal Kombat 11. Like a lot of people thought that he wasn't that good, and then people started playing him, and then boom, like he's good now. Like people think that he's really good. So that's just my hot take though. But anyway, that was also my first game where I challenged a lot of, or my first time period rather, that I challenged a lot of people that weren't in my immediate family to kind of play me in a fighting game. That, like, including going to arcades and stuff like that, but also like with my friends at my house playing Mortal Kombat and stuff like that, and I would try and beat them. And that was something that, you know, really kind of settled the thought that, hey, I'm pretty decent at these games in my mind. And in my mind I was like, you know, these are the kinds of games that I really want to keep playing a lot of. But I didn't. I stopped playing fighting games for about, I want to say 5 years, until my 8th grade. So what, I was like 13, 14 at the time, and my friend introduced me to Project M, the mod for Super Smash Bros. Brawl. And oh my god, that was the best thing that ever happened to me. I really felt drawn in by the Smash Bros. Like fighting style. I really thought that platform fighters were my way to go back then, but I never really put in the time to learn platform fighters before that, because I never had a Wii, I never had a GameCube, so I couldn't play any of the Smash Bros. Games, and those were the only real big platform fighters at the time. I think like the only other one I can really think of off the top of my head was PlayStation All-Stars, which I did play a little bit of, but not a lot. But anyway, Project M was the first fighting game I ever looked up anything for, because my friend would destroy me with Lucario. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna learn Lucario. This character looks sick. And I looked up stuff on how to play Lucario and just kind of watched a couple of videos, not really paying attention to like who it was or what it was. I just wanted to watch the video and repeat exactly what I saw. I got to the point where I was playing really good, so was my friend Nick. You've probably seen him in like my Oklahoma vlog and maybe some and my cover video that I had posted before and stuff like that, and some new content that's gonna be coming soon. Just you guys wait. But anyway, we both decided that we would go to a Smash Bros. Tournament. This was a little bit later on. It was when Smash 4 was big. Because the tournament was, I remember, Smash 4, Project M, and Melee. I didn't play Melee because I wasn't that good at it, but I played in Smash 4 and Project M. I did pretty good in Smash 4, but I did all right in Project M. I got like 3 or 4 wins in Project M as opposed to like 2 in Smash 4. So I was really happy about that. That was something that made me really content with myself. But the people who I lost to, oh god, I got destroyed. It was horrible. But they did give me some pointers, and they told me, you know, look up iPunchKids. He's a Lucario player for Project M. They told me to watch his VODs, watch his pro games and stuff like that. See what I can do to kind of mimic his playstyle, and then they also taught me some of their matchups for their characters, and this was all like new information to me. I'd never really tried to learn something like that before, so this was something that like kind of sparked in my mind that, hey, I can learn other characters so I can be better with my character. And that's kind of the beginning story. That's how I decided that I would start becoming better at fighting games. And it kind of went on after that, and you'll see in the later videos, it goes on to Dragon Ball, it goes on to Mortal Kombat, but those are much further down the line, and we'll be talking about those next time. Anyway, here's what I did to practice as a beginner. Now, I'm going to say, with a huge grain of salt, take this information, because I do not think that what I did as a beginner was necessarily the best way to learn. I think that it was good at the time. I think that I could have been better at learning the games that I wanted to get good at if I had followed my later like suggestions for practicing and stuff like that. But here's what I can say is what I did to practice as a new player in the fighting game community. 1, watch YouTube videos and just copy what they do over and over. Now, I never really watched like videos that would go over like frame data and like all the different tech that you could do, and that's something that I kind of put on myself for like kind of slowing my growth rate in the fighting game community. But watch YouTube videos and try and figure out what you can do to make your play better and more optimized. Another thing that I did, especially in platform fighters, but like some other games like MK11 do have some decent AI options. Play a ton of AI matches. If a bot can always read you, so you can't mix up a bot, but when you do get a hit on a bot, you can combo, and you can also block, and you can learn defense and stuff like that. So I highly recommend playing AI matches just to kind of train your defense a little bit, even at a lower level, especially at a lower level actually, because in higher level, especially games like Dragon Ball, like setting up the bots to like instant air dash overhead, or like low mix up, or like empty overhead into a low and stuff like that. You can do all that once you feel confident in actually getting your fundamentals down. But your fundamentals are your key when you're starting to play fighting games. And the last thing that I have to say is play at a local tournament. If you think that you're playing well enough to maybe take a couple of wins, just go for it. That's what I did, and that's what got me to where I'm at today, where I've won like a couple of tournaments in fighting games specifically. I've played a lot of other games at like, you know, local level, but fighting games specifically, I feel like playing at locals is what got me to the point where I'm at today. And I highly recommend anybody who wants to get better at a fighting game, find a group, find a local group, maybe find like a nearby group if you're like either in different countries or like in a different state or something like that, depending on where you're located. If it's close enough to where you could reliably go to it every once in a while, then you should. That way you can take that time to get better. So anyway, that's all I've got for this video. Next video, like I was saying, I'll cover my advancement in the fighting game community, how I found my main game type, and how I took more time to find my specific playstyles in those games. But those are all topics for the next video. So if you enjoyed this video, please like, please subscribe. I am trying to hit like 100 subs before probably like February. Let's say before Valentine's Day. Before Valentine's Day, let's get to 100 subs. That's my goal. But like I said, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. Follow me on Twitter, follow me on Twitch. I'll have all my links and stuff like that in the description. I mostly stream. I don't make a lot of YouTube videos, as you can probably tell. So always check me out there. That's where I'd say I'm in my prime. But regardless, hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and see ya.
Laugh again, Josh! Hon.
Jesus.
That was just me spamming my keys because freaking Logan. I just got Logan, thank you for the idea. You gave me a kill. No! Josh, did I just kick you into my fucking spear that I threw?
Yeah.